Welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm Adam Rancho, and we made it to week 18. Time for the last iteration of this video, our final picks for the final week of the NFL. Before that, we take a look at last week's picks, remind you of the record. Sadly, I made some mistakes last week that are probably going to cost me a chance to tie it up. I go 8-8 in week 17. Really bad stretch. I got a little too reckless on some of these picks. We were wrong about Detroit. That one was kind of shocking. Vikings defense is no joke. Wrong about the Chargers. That one was sad to watch in person. Could blame the refs, but ultimately too many mistakes. All in all, a bad game. If not for the Jaden Higgins house call to start the game, maybe it would have gone differently. But also took the Browns correctly. That Colts pick gave them a shot to win, but nope. Not the correct decision. That one, I wish I did not change. That one, unfortunately, cost me big time. But the Bucks lost to the Dolphins. That one was a shocker. Didn't expect Quinn Ewers to play that well. But the Bucks defense just sucks. They really don't deserve a playoff spot, in my opinion. And then these last four games, damn, I didn't see them accurately at all. We took the Raiders, who I guess when I picked it, didn't think Bowers or Crosby would sit out, but they were overtly tanking. I way overestimated the effect of Ashton Genty. So that one didn't see at all. And then the Bills losing to the Eagles. Why not just take overtime? Whatever. I don't really trust the Bills, to be honest. But the Bears came this close. That final play was entertaining, but it didn't have to be as drawn out. If Caleb had just hit Loveland earlier in the play, maybe they would have won. So that one down to the wire, whatever. The Rams game, if not for the Jared Verse punt return touchdown, that game wasn't close at all. The Rams look like shit. They need Adams. Without him, they're pretty mediocre. So rough week, 8-8. Damn, this one is not how I wanted it to go. So sadly, we are behind y'all, and these are y'all's picks this week. Y'all go 11-5. Y'all took the Cowboys. We agreed on that one. We agreed on Detroit. Both got that wrong. We both agreed on Denver. That one was correct. We split on the Chargers. I was not going to go against LA going to that game. Here's a little bit of footage. First down conversion to Quentin Johnston here. I had good seats. I was happy to be there, but unfortunately, it did not go our way. Pretty shocking that Cameron Dicker did miss those kicks, but we also disagreed on both Saturday games. I took the Ravens. At least I was right on that. We were even on Saturday, but I took the Bengals. Y'all agreed. Y'all took the Steelers. I took Cleveland. At least I picked up one game there, but we disagreed. I took the Colts. Very dumb decision there. Y'all were right with the Jags, but that game was closer than the poll would have suggested. The Saints did turn out to be the right pick. We agreed on that. We agreed on Seattle. That one was kind of obvious. The Buccaneers shockingly shit the bed. That one we both missed. And then the Patriots we got right. The Raiders I got wrong. Y'all got the Giants correct. We both agreed on Buffalo. That one was wrong. And then we disagreed on Sunday night. I took the Chicago Bears, and y'all were correct. When it comes to Monday's game, I took the Rams. Y'all agreed at 86%, and we did get shocked. The Falcons did call upset. So a pretty good game. We didn't see that one coming. And on the week, I go 8-8. Y'all go 11-5. On the season, this is our record. Y'all are 165, 87-4. I'm 160, 95-1. I need a bit of a miracle. I can't envision I pick up 5 games in just 1 week. I need to be like perfect, because I assume y'all will go 11-5 at least yet again. So wish me luck, but I think y'all have won the season. Who knows? Maybe week 18 will go in a strange direction. But against the spread, this is comical. I genuinely cracked up when I saw my official record at the moment. We go 1-5 against the spread in week 17. Bad week. The Broncos didn't cover. Of course not. Fuck the Broncos. Fucking, I don't believe in them. I think it's a good thing they're going to get the bye. I don't think they're going to show up in the divisional round. So good for Denver. They win, but boo. Can't even beat the third string quarterback by 2 touchdowns. Fuck Denver. Fuck them. Bitter Charger fan. Anyways, Arizona didn't cover either. Yikes. That defense is dog shit. The Bears didn't cover. That one was a good line. +3, unfortunately, was not enough. But we also took the Bills. Fuck. the Bills didn't show up. They were favored, so no outcome of that game would have worked out. Even if they converted on the 2-point conversion. Nope, never in play for the Bills to cover. But the Chargers, who would have known what could have happened had they gotten the ball back? So that one was very unfortunate, but they could have been in much better position to win that game. It could have at least been tied, and who knows, maybe gone into overtime. But the Browns, at least that one was right. At least I didn't go 0-6. Damn, the Browns pick is the only one that saved me. They were 3.5-point underdogs, and they won by a full touchdown. Good for the Browns. Good win by Cleveland. But I am 51-51, so that feels very appropriate given how this season has really gone. I finally went over 500. We were 4 games up entering the week, and now we got to go 4-2 just to finish with an above 500 record on the year. Watch me go 3-3. That feels really destined to happen. 51-51 feels so appropriate in hindsight. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Can I finish above 500 on the year? I'll probably finish exactly at 500, but who knows? We're targeting 55-53. That's the minimum we would like to feel happy about this year. But let's make some picks. This is the schedule for Week 18. Every single game is a divisional game, and not every single matchup means anything. Some of them are just to decide which draft pick you have, but then some of them still decide the fate of the playoff picture. So let's run through the gauntlet. We have the NFC South decided on Saturday afternoon. The Carolina Panthers at the Buccaneers, and I can't tell you, I believe the Buccaneers deserve a playoff spot. They do not have the defense to earn it. I don't think Baker is fully healthy. Something's wrong, and then their receiving core has just been so banged up. Egbuka's fallen off while Godwin is stepping up. Evans is just not the same player, not the same team as we've seen in the past. So I don't trust them. Ultimately, I just don't think their defense can stop anyone. So even if they make the playoffs, I think it would be a very automatic one and done. The Panthers have made things interesting. The Panthers have won a lot of games that we did not expect them to, and I think ultimately they are the more deserving team to win this division. There is a world where they win this division even by losing this game. If there's a 3-way 8-9 tie, the Falcons winning would give the Panthers the division regardless, because there would be tiebreakers involved. Both of these teams would be 3-3 in division, and the strength of schedule would favor Carolina. So maybe that's the outcome. The Bucs win and the Panthers still advance, but I'm going to avoid that outcome. I believe Carolina will just win the game. So that's what I'm going to bet on. Give me the Panthers over the Bucs. I believe they're the more deserving playoff team in this division. Then we got the Niners hosting Seattle. This is for the 1 seed in the NFC. The Seahawks are, in my opinion, the better team. They're better on the road. They have a more effective defense, and their quarterback I don't think is that much different than the Niners quarterback. I think if you put Darnold in this system, we'd have very similar stats. Darnold has looked good at times, but also sometimes they win without him really stepping up at all. But I do think this will be very similar to Week 1. Very close game between the two, and it can go either way. So truly, it's a coin flip, but I kind of just don't believe that the Niners are going to have the number 1 seed. It would kind of shock me given everything they've had to overcome. I know they control their destiny, so do the Seahawks, and I just believe that the Seattle Seahawks are more complete. If you told me Nick Bosa and Fred Warner were active, I might think differently, but the injury to George Kittle, I think, is massive. Not knowing if he's going to play, that I think is an advantage to the Seahawks, and I just don't trust Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings. And Jake Tonjes, the same. I know Christian McCaffrey's a big advantage, but I trust the Seahawks run defense a little bit more, and I just think overall there's just one extra advantage on the laundry list of things you can compare that have me believing the Seahawks will win this game. So I'm going to take the road team. I don't think it's an obvious pick at all. Could definitely go the other direction, and maybe at home it will, but I'll take the road team. Give me the Seahawks and Sam Darnold over the Niners. I just believe this team will win the division. I picked them to win this division back in August. I'm going to stick with that call. I believe the Seahawks tough it out and get the 1 seed. I don't think they're getting swept by San Francisco. Could definitely happen. They probably play again, but in this matchup, second time around, I'll take Seattle to knot it up. Give me the Seahawks with the win and the conference. They get home field throughout the playoffs and a bye in the wildcard round. Good for Seattle. I think they'll win the division. In Atlanta, perhaps it's irrelevant. Maybe the Falcons and Saints game will actually decide the division. So, interesting battle here. Both teams are really playing well now that they've been eliminated. They're actually competitive, and that makes full sense. The Falcons are not a team that you should ever respect. Only once it means nothing are they actually a legit team to face. So this game is a true toss-up. Neither team has anything to play for but pride. And I don't think either team cares about next year's draft pick. If anything, Raheem Morris wants to keep his job. Kellen Moore wants to develop a winning culture in New Orleans. So I see this as a very, very close game. Probably one of the more entertaining matchups, to be honest. But I'm going to go Saints in this one. I've liked what I've seen from them. I know that they almost lost to the Titans, but their offense is humming. Tyler Shuck looks good, and I'm willing to trust their offense. I think Olave is the best receiver. I know Bijan's the best running back by a mile, but the Saints, I think, can limit him just enough. So give me New Orleans. I believe Carolina will win the division fair and square. We got the Cincinnati Bengals hosting Cleveland, who's been a pretty tough out for the Bengals throughout Joe Burrow's career. The straight up record definitely has me inclined to consider Cleveland, but because Harold Fannin went down with a groin injury, I'm not going to do that. Without Fannin, they have no offense, and I don't think the defense cares as much when they can't play spoiler. The Bengals are already eliminated, so the excitement of eliminating Pittsburgh is gone, and I do think Myles Garrett gets the sack record, but I don't think it matters for the overall score. Give me the Bengals to win. That offense is too good. Without Harold Fannin, the Browns cannot compete. In Minnesota, we got the Vikings hosting Green Bay, and the Packers are locked into the 7 seed. And we've seen a lot of injuries on that team. We have also seen Matt LaFleur bench players who don't even have to sit out. Last year, they did that, and it wasn't completely necessary. This week, it'll definitely happen. The Vikings will play a backup roster against the Packers. So the Vikings, they've been playing great. Brian Flores is trying to be the hottest coaching candidate. He will step up again. Excellent game plan, excellent effort. The Vikings win at home, and they finish with a respectable record. I believe they might be 9-8, if I'm correct, and still miss the playoffs. But who knows? Maybe this team is going to win the division next year. It's always possible. The Vikings, I think, will win because the Packers are taking a bye week. Give me the Vikings, no doubt. But I will acknowledge Malik Willis looks pretty good. I just don't trust all of his receivers to be healthy. And who knows? They might even bench him. That's possible. I doubt it, but it's possible. The Vikings will win regardless. I am trusting Minnesota and that defense. In New York, the Giants are hosting Dallas. And despite winning last week, I wouldn't trust them to beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are putting up a better effort. The Giants have a laundry list of injuries, and they're not facing a team that's actively tanking for the number 1 pick. So Dallas going to win, I think, pretty comfortably. I think they'll win by over a touchdown. The Giants defense not going to do anything to stop Dak Prescott. Give me the Cowboys by at least a touchdown. I think they win pretty comfortably. Then I got the Jaguars hosting the Titans, and I'm definitely picking Jacksonville. I think the Titans will give them a good run for their money. I don't think this game will be overwhelmingly decided by halftime or anything. But similar to last week, even if the opponent has the lead at one point, the Jags will come back. The Jags made some mistakes but still found a way to win over the Colts. I think they'll do something similar and find a way to beat the Titans. The Titans are not going to roll over, but the Jags will win because the division is up for grabs. It's on the line, and they'll take it. The Jags win. This one is a pretty easy pick, but probably not going to cover the spread. I don't think it'll be as big of a margin as Vegas would suggest. Same situation in Houston. I definitely trust the Texans to win, but the Colts are not just going to gift them the game, and I do think they step up enough to limit the Houston's offense. I trust the Texans will win, but I don't think they'll cover by 2 touchdowns. So give me the Texans. I trust it'll happen. Both teams have a chance to win the division. They're playing at the same time, and both teams will give themselves the best chance possible. So Houston not going to bench anyone. They'll probably get the 5 seed, in my opinion, and I believe they'll win this game. Give me Houston and Jacksonville to advance, but both Tennessee and Indianapolis to give them a good run for their money. In Buffalo, we have the Bills hosting the Jets, and odds are once we hit the second quarter, we're getting Mitch Trubisky and Ray Davis all throughout the game. I don't see Josh Allen spending much time on the field. So who knows, maybe he doesn't even start the game at all, but that's usually not the way the Bills do it. They'll have them ready for action. However, they're not going to play more than one quarter. So maybe not even more than one drive. I think that's all it's going to take. Trubisky and the backup Bills will still beat the Jets. The Jets are not a competitive team at all. Give me Buffalo. Ray Davis could be an interesting play in this game. Then we got Chicago hosting Detroit, and the Bears want the 2 seed. That's definitely the better spot. So I don't think they bench anyone. I think they try to win. Maybe Rome doesn't play because he's nursing an injury, but I still think the Bears will put forth a full effort because they got so embarrassed back in week 2 when they lost to the Lions that first time. I think this is a clear play it full effort type of game. I don't think the Bears roll over at all. Having the 2 seed is the best path for Chicago, no doubt. So they will beat Detroit. I don't trust the Lions defense, and given how embarrassing that first game was, I do trust Ben Johnson to come back strong. Give me the Bears over the Lions, a win for Chicago. In Denver, we get the Lions hosting the Chargers, and at least Justin Herbert's not going to play. I would imagine a lot of starters for the Chargers are not going to play. They should just treat this week as a bye. I honestly think the more appealing path is to face the Patriots and Broncos. The Patriots and Broncos had the easiest schedule this season, and even though they're in a more advantageous spot, if you're going on the road, beating those slightly more fraudulent teams based on schedule, I think is probably the more ideal scenario, especially coming off a bye week when your opponent doesn't have the same luxury. So I hope Trey Lance can keep it close. I would love if Bo Nix has to play all 4 quarters, especially if he has to come back somehow to get this win. But I definitely trust that the Broncos will get the job done. I believe Denver will be the 1 seed because the Chargers are kind of gifting them this win. I just don't think they'll have a chance without Justin Herbert. It's going to be pretty obvious that this team is dog shit without Herbert. He's really the true MVP. If he had a better record, he'd be a shoo-in. He deserves it. I think that team would be so much worse without him, and it wouldn't be the same on just about any other team in the NFL. Even Stafford, I don't think the Rams would have as bad a record without Stafford compared to the Chargers without Herbert. Maybe I'm a homer, but I genuinely believe he deserves the MVP. He won't get it, but it'll be really on display in this game. The Chargers have no shot. The Broncos win and lock up that playoff bye. The Raiders hosting Kansas City is actually a very tough game to pick because it feels pretty obvious the Raiders are tanking, but at the same time in that building, I'm sure they would really relish a win over the Chiefs. The Chiefs are definitely beatable. They should be able to win against them, but they don't have Bowers, they don't have Crosby, and they do currently have the number 1 pick. But watch Pete Carroll do some weird shit, find a way to win. If anything, the Chiefs could really benefit from a better draft pick. So I don't want that to happen. Let's give the Raiders the number 1 pick with this selection here. The Chiefs should win. Will they? That'll be interesting. I could see the Raiders find a way to let the number 1 pick slip out of their hands. Watch that happen. It would be pretty funny. So this game, I might be changing my opinion. I have no idea how the poll is going to go, but I'm probably going to go against what the majority says. This one is a very tough one. So watch me change the pick because most of y'all agree on the Chiefs. But this one, I really have no idea. Let's go Kansas City because I think the Raiders are just tanking. But honestly, I have no idea. The Rams hosting Arizona. That's an interesting game. Cardinals, though, have such a bad defense. This is a get-right game for the Rams. They need it. And according to Sean McVay, he's not going to rest anyone. Given they can't win the division, I'm kind of surprised they're not going to give everyone some rest. But they are losing at this point in time. I guess they can't afford to go in with some bad vibes. So a win for LA, even if Garoppolo was the quarterback, I think they'd beat Arizona. I think they'd be fine with the backup. But Stafford will get the job done. The Rams definitely beat Arizona. The Cardinals, I don't trust at all. Then we get the Patriots hosting the Dolphins, and the Patriots have a shot at the 1 seed. They will need some luck, though. If the Chargers don't beat Denver, then they're just locked into the 2 seed. There's actually a world where they do fall to the 3, though, if the Jags jump them. So let's not let that happen. Let's stick with the Patriots. They should beat the Dolphins. They should beat Quinn Ewers. But if they lose this game, then that's pretty much proof that they are fraudulent. I really doubt it, though. I think they'll get the job done. They beat the Ravens. They also beat the Bills once. They're okay, but they really need home field advantage. I think their only path to the Super Bowl is if they have the 1 seed. They have to have every game in Foxborough. Otherwise, I wouldn't trust them to win 3 in a row. So good luck for New England. I think they lock up the 2 seed with this game. I think they win over the Dolphins. The Eagles, though, are hosting Washington, and I think they should just bench everyone. The Bears are going to play in the morning, so they will know their fate. If that's the case, just sit everyone after the first drive. So that could be a problem here, but I think Tanner McKee could also keep the offense rolling. I think Tank Bigsby could also play well, but who knows? Maybe JCM against no Jalen Carter could go ham. So this one will be weird. This one I also might pivot just against the poll, but as of this taping, I believe the Eagles will win. That is my authentic pick, but who knows? The poll results might be dictating some of my opinions shifting later on. So that's really it for all the games that are like kind of meaningless a little bit. However, on Sunday night, we have the battle for the AFC North, a division that has been very disappointing this year. But Ravens Steelers is a rivalry that we're used to. Always a fun game. Might be more gritty and defensive than we expect, but who knows? Maybe TJ Watt returns and throws this one into a big shit show. This one I really have a hard time picking because I want to take Baltimore. I picked them originally to go to the Super Bowl back in August, but they've been really bad at times, and I really don't trust Tyler Huntley at the end of the day. I have no idea if Lamar's going to play, but there's a world where they're better with Huntley. To be honest, Lamar has not been inspiring at all. I don't know what's going on with him. Vibes are off. Health has to be a problem. But ultimately, with the Steelers not having DK Metcalf, I don't trust their offense at all. It's just so predictable. It's pretty easy to stop Adam Thielen and MVS. The Browns did it pretty effectively last week. If Jalen Warren doesn't have a house call, and this offense is just not that effective, Kenny Gainwell cannot do it all by himself in the passing game. So this will be a very close game. It's always close. Mike Tomlin kind of has the Ravens number, but in more recent history, it has been a lot more even between the two franchises. So this will be close. I wish Metcalf was playing. I think that'd be a more fair assessment. But with him off the field and Derrick Henry playing so well, as long as he doesn't fumble, I'm going to take the Ravens. That's the team I believed in back in the offseason. And if you told me Lamar Jackson's still alive in the playoffs, I still think they have a shot. So the Steelers, I don't think have a chance at all, even with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. If they make the playoffs, I don't think it'll change. They're not going to move past the first round. So let's at least take the team I think has a chance to make it more interesting. I believe the Ravens are ultimately a better roster, better team. And I think for 1 week, Derrick Henry can keep it going and not fumble it away. Give me the Ravens at Pittsburgh. A close game, definitely a toss-up, but this is one I'm not going to pivot off of if y'all are on the same page. If we are both taking Baltimore, I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm just sticking with the Ravens. I might pivot off the Eagles, might pivot off the Chiefs, but I will assure you by the end of the week, I will stick with Baltimore. On the games that matter the most, I will be honest and just stick with my original pick. So these are my win-loss picks. We're taking mostly home teams, especially in the ones that I don't think matter for the playoff picture. We have the Panthers, though, on the road beating Tampa. I believe they'll win the division fair and square. The Niners, I think, will lose that home field advantage. I think the Seahawks win this game, and I think they'll be the 1 seed. I think the Seahawks are the better team. That's how I felt back in August. I'll stick with that decision. The Saints are going to beat the Falcons. I don't trust Kirk Cousins enough. Falcons can definitely win, but once you decide to trust them, they always let you down. Give me the Saints, who I think are playing with more enthusiasm. The Bengals, I think, will beat Cleveland. Joe Burrow should not let this one slip away. Maybe the Browns just have their number, but the Bengals should win. The Vikings should also win. The Packers aren't going to have any starters on the field. The Giants, I think, are going to lose. The Cowboys are still fighting for pride. The Jaguars, though, I think will win the division. They're going to beat the Titans, but that game will be more interesting than some people think. A close game, but sticking with Jacksonville. The Texans are going to win, give themselves a shot at the division. It's not going to work out, but they do get the 5 seed locked up with this win over the Colts. The Bills are going to beat the Jets even with Mitchell Trubisky, there is no chance the Jets win. The Bears are not benching anyone. The Bears want revenge after week 2. They're going to embarrass Detroit, and Ben Johnson wins the division overwhelmingly. Denver will beat the Chargers. The Chargers are not starting Justin Herbert, so no chance they get the dub. Denver gets the 1 seed. Then in Las Vegas, I think the Chiefs will get the win. I think they're the better team. Ola Dukin will play better than Geno Smith. With no Brock Bowers, the Raiders lock up the number 1 pick. In LA, the Rams lock up their playoff spot. They snap the losing streak and win over Arizona. In New England, the Patriots have a shot at the 1 seed, but they're not going to get the help from LA. The Chargers prevent them from having the playoff bye. They beat the Dolphins, though. They enter the playoffs 14-3. In Philly, the Eagles probably bench their starters, and maybe this game goes differently, but I'm going to take the Eagles to beat Washington. I think they play well enough, even if they plug in the backups. Lastly, though, I'm going to take the Ravens to win the division. I do not trust the Steelers, especially without Metcalf. I don't think it's their week. Give me Baltimore on the road, and Lamar gives himself a shot at the Super Bowl once again. Those are my picks, mostly home teams, but like I said, given my situation, I might be pivoting off a couple of these teams at the end of the week based on the poll results. I might have to chuck some picks just to give myself a shot at a tie on the season. So that's it for this week, and I also give you 6 picks against the spread. This one is probably pretty compelling because I doubt I'll catch up in the straight up picks, but against the spread, I need at least 4 correct to have a above 500 record. Watch me go 3-3 though. I always maintain 500. So these are my picks. I'm taking the Panthers to win straight up. I believe they win the division fair and square. And even if they lose, I think that game is going to be super tight, definitely within a field goal type of matchup. I'll take the points in this one. Give me Carolina +3. I think they can win straight up, but at least a field goal. I'll take the underdog in this game. Who knows, maybe they lose and still advance, win the division on tiebreakers, but I'll take Carolina. I believe they'll finish with a winning record. Then we got the Saints Falcons game, and this one also kind of correlates. I believe the Panthers will win the division regardless of those tiebreakers. I think the Saints will just take care of business. The Saints feel like a more even team with the Falcons at this point in time. I think it's more appropriate that the Saints and Falcons have the same record as opposed to the Falcons having the same record as Tampa and Carolina. Give me the Saints and the points, especially the extra half point, 3.5. I'll take the hook with the underdog. So in the NFC South, give me both underdogs this week. I believe both will win. In the AFC South, I believe both underdogs will cover. I'll take the Titans and the points plus 12.5. They've been good enough on defense. They're not quitting. Cam Ward looks pretty decent, to be honest. There have been some few impressive highlight reels. I think the Titans will play well on offense. The Colts kept it close. The Jags will win, but similar to last week's game, I think it's by 1 possession, not 2. So 12.5 points, that's a lot in division that rarely does cover for the favorite. Give me the underdog in the points. Give me the Titans definitely plus 12.5. They'll keep it close. They're not going to win, but they will keep it close. The Colts are also going to give the Texans a good run for their money. If this was less than 10 points, I would not be interested, but 10.5, I'll take that. That's a tough number to cover, and I think in division, that's just too much. The Colts are not going to roll over. The Colts are not going to play spoiler. The Texans will still win, but they're not going to lose by 11 or more. The Texans don't have good enough of an offense to do that. Give me the Indianapolis Colts and the points. So a few underdogs, so far 4 of them, but that's the end of the road on underdog picks. I'm taking 2 favorites that I think will win pretty comfortably. The Vikings are going to face a bunch of backups, so the Packers not going to give a shit at all. While Malik Willis has looked good, if you're telling me you take away Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, maybe Matthew Golden on top of that, especially Josh Jacobs, I don't feel good about that. I don't trust the passing game enough. So while I don't fully trust Max Brosmer, I do trust Brian Flores' defense, especially with all those backups. Give me the Vikings to win by a touchdown. Minus 5.5. Kind of a tough number to cover, but I trust the Vikings defense enough. In a low-scoring game, that's a lot of points, but I'll take the favorite. The Vikings should win pretty comfortably. Lastly, though, I'll take the Cowboys to cover -3.5. This number was actually also 5.5 yesterday, so the betting market liked the Giants to cover, but I don't believe that. I believe with all of the injuries to their defense and O-line, the Giants are not going to play as well this week against Dallas. It's one thing to beat the Raiders that badly when the Raiders can lock up the 1 seed and they're tanking overtly. The Cowboys are trying to win. The Cowboys, I think, will win straight up and by more than 3 points. Give me the Cowboys to cover. So 4 underdogs, 4 teams getting points, both in the NFC South, the Panthers and the Saints, and both in the AFC North, the Titans and Colts. I believe the Panthers and Saints just win straight up, but the Titans and Colts don't lose by 2 touchdowns. The Vikings, I think, will win by a touchdown, and so will the Cowboys. I believe those favorites will cover. So I really hope I don't finish below 500. Wish me luck. I'm going to need it. And then at least straight up, I might be changing things. But at the moment, I feel relatively okay with my picks. But who knows? There have been a lot of odd things that happened this season. I wouldn't be shocked if I went 500 yet again. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. We will be making some picks for the playoffs. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Nice and blunt.